Hello, just welcoming you to my deck and the life of Mary's plants. Okay, I started pot planting when COVID hit because I just needed something creative to do that was home based, and now I've got, I haven't counted, but I think I've got probably, I have 200 plants. I went from like 3 to 200, and I've learned how to propagate and create more and more, and it's really the most beautiful hobby, and it actually really decorates my house lovely. I love having plants around the house, and it's great for your air quality as well. And every weekend I've got most of my plants I water once a week, so anything else is too much because when you work, you know. So every weekend I'm just tending them. They're like my little babies, and so I'm going to introduce you to some.
So I'm going to start by showing you my front porch, okay? So it gets a lot of air and light, as you can see, and it's protected by just slats, so light filters through, okay? So here we have the good old spider plant, and it really likes this position. I've got it hanging, and it's got some babies on there. I've actually cut this plant back quite a bit because it had some sort of disease on it, and I'll show you it, because it got really kind of sticky in places. See that? See, I'm just going to go like that and get it off. It was like a sticky, mucky thing, and I've had to cut a lot of it off. So it's probably some sort of bug. So you got to give it a wipe down, wipe your leaves down and everything at certain times. But planting these babies, you know, you just cut them off when you get them. And literally I put them in water and grow. I'll show you them later. But there's a little baby I've planted. He's going in there, see him? And I've got another baby down here. It's not going too good, but he's going. I've got babies all over the place with the spider plants. And here's another spider plant, and you can see that this one's a little bit, I got this one from a girl at work. It was a little baby, and she brought us the little one in. It was so lovely. And this one's just come on really nicely. It's looking good. It was looking a little, the leaves are looking a little bit floppy. See that? And I think that is because it needed a bit more water. So I've watered it yesterday, and look, I've got my first baby coming off there now, and look how healthy that baby looks. Look at it, it's beautiful. So there you have your first, and the spider plants generally like light, and I'd say watering maybe good water once a week, and in summer twice. Now we're going to the Monstera plant. Now I can't say I've grown this one from scratch because it was my son's and I'm looking after it for him, but I'd say they're pretty hard to grow. This actually loves this spot, right? I did have it in my front room, and it wasn't getting enough light in winter, so I always move it out for winter. And look what we got here. Look at this new leaf, new thing coming out. And this one here, this is just, that one's come out since it's been out on the veranda, out on the porch, and that is a beautiful leaf. Can you see that? So it really likes the positioning, and sometimes with plants you do have to get the positioning right. See, that one's, you know, you get a little bit of, you know, damage. He gave me it with this one on damage, so I inherited that one, but I'm getting some good results from it being out here in the light. I've just got to remember to move it. There's another leaf. Move it in winter. All right, so I just got to remember to move it out for winter in Brisbane, that is, to give it more light, and once a week water. Same with the Monstera family. This is Monstera Adansonii. I can't say half these words. But look, it's not doing very well. I've moved this out into the porch to give it a bit more light, but that leaf's looking good. I like that. And look, I'm getting another new leaf there. Ooh. So it actually likes this position, and it was in a position where it wasn't getting enough light. So there you are. When you move plants to positions they like, you'll see new growth, right? So these do like the light. And I've got a little baby one down here where I've chopped the top off and that, and I put it in water, and I've got a baby one growing. This one's not looking too good, but this one's all right. This leaf here is going all right. So keep going, baby. You've got to talk to your plants and touch them just gently and give them tender loving care. Here's another Monstera plant that I've got against a window in the study, and it's actually liking it there. It wasn't doing too good, as you can see. This is a new leaf here. Look at that leaf. So it really does like this position, being against a window. So I think you know, with Monsteras, you just need enough light and watering once a week. And this is a Fiddle Ficus plant, and this plant, look at that new leaf. Look how shiny it is. They can get these plants, and there's another new leaf, but these plants can get really tall. So my one is on a box at the moment, just propped on a table on a box. Okay, so eventually it'll get tall enough to just have on the floor, but it really is very finicky for light, needs the light. And I did have a little problem with it earlier, where it started losing leaves started dropping off, and what I realised was I wasn't watering it enough. So it's got quite a deep pot here, as you can see, and the water was, I pulled the soil out, and the water was only going halfway down the soil, so I started watering it more, and that really brought it back. So it's looking really good now, but they don't like to be moved. So if you find a nice spot for them and they are working there, don't move them. And if you do move them, be careful, because they're very temperamental with that. Here's another baby Ficus, fig plant, and that is also by the window in the study, and that's doing well. And they don't mind being a bit pot bound, so I'm not going to change the pot yet. I'll just leave it, and because it's doing really well there. Here's another Ficus, and that's got a different leaf on it. It's got like a variegation on there, and this one's in the bathroom, and again it's very close to a window, as you can see. So again, that one's looking quite healthy. Once a week watering, doing all right. And they're also called rubber plants, I think. Don't quite. Here is the Dracaena, the majestic Dracaena. I've had this plant for absolutely years, and it's probably been in that position on my front veranda for years too. It does like the position. Although looking at it now, I'm seeing lots from a distance. I'm seeing lots of end tips that are a bit bothersome. But this new growth up here is looking beautiful, so that's looking healthy. And I've also got a little baby coming off it down here. Can you see? It's only a little thin stalk that's holding it. It's like a tree. It is a tree up. So they like a lot of bright light, water once a week. Don't overwater. I chopped the top off the Dracaena and I've planted it in my bedroom. Doesn't get a lot of light here, but it seems to be going all right, and that was just from the top bit, and I just stuck it straight in to the soil. So I've been watering it once a week, so it's looking all right. And I like the leaves, and I like the way it's sort of sitting on that shelf there, and yeah. It's looking good. This is another type of Dracaena. It's a little bit different to that one, and I've ruined it. Look at it. It's not looking great, but I'm hopeful to bring it back. Now what I did, I had it in a different position, and it was in low light, and I was watering it too much, so it got blinking mould all on it, like mealy bug. And so then what did I do? I put it out in the garden in the direct sunlight, and I burnt all the leaves. So look, so now I've got it in the corner. It's got light, but it's not got too much light, and I'm not watering it too much, and I'm hoping it will come back to life again. I've cut all the dead bits off the leaves. So look at that leaf, look at that, that's bloody beautiful. Look. Yeah, see, I've got one lovely leaf there, but it will come back. I'm hopeful. I am hopeful for you, and I'm nursing it back to life. And that's what you can do with pot plants. You can just change positions, give them more water, give them less water, and see what happens. So here's another Dracaena. It's a different type of one, and all I did with that, look what I did. I just broke this off from the garden. I've got this growing in my garden, and I broke the top off, stuck it in the soil, and just started watering it, and it's growing nicely, and it likes this place as well. And look at this cool shaped. You can buy lots of, and this doesn't drain this one, so only give it a little bit of water each week. Don't water it too much. But it just looks cool on the sink here, like that. Just a nice little centre. This is what my plant looks like in the garden, and literally, look, there's a little one there. You could just break that off and put it in. There's a little bit there. You can break that off and put it in soil, and it would grow in a pot. This plant is called Dichondra Emerald Falls, and there's my main plant, and I'm growing loads off it. I'm doing a little bit of a tricky dicky here. I've grown this one off that one, and now I'm going to grow it back into this. As you can see, you just attach it back in, plant it back in, and then I'll just cut it there. And then this one's falling right down here, and I'm going to plant that one in there, and then I'll cut it off when that's ready, and that'll be a little baby one. And I've got a little watering system. If I water this and that, it drips into that, and then it drips down into that one. So I've got a little eco watering system thing going on with this one. This one here is called Silver Falls Dichondra, and I'm doing the same with this one. As you can see, the leaves on this one are more silver, and they're sort of like furry as well. And then I'm growing that one into there. They like water, but both of them like a lot of water. They're very water thirsty, but the water drips. I haven't got a drainer under that, so that water drips down straight into that one and sits there. So it's a nice little tricky system. Right, pothos. That has got to be my all-time favourite plant, and I've got a lot of them. So if you can see this is a variegated type, and the variegation on here will happen and will thrive if there's enough light. But if you put it in lower light, the variegation won't stay, and it will just come out green. So mine's getting a fair amount of light here, right? They're easy. They can go in any type of light, they can go in any type of soil, and you can even grow them in water. So they're great starters for planting. And this one was eaten alive by, it must have been a baby possum that got through here, right? It was eaten alive, and it's come back really nicely. And what I have done is I've actually just pinned down some of the roots down with a hairpin, bobby pin, and some of the roots with nodules on. And this is a nodule here. You either cut it there and you put it in water, or you just pin it back down into the soil, and they'll start shooting out again another branch. So I'm going to show you a few more of these I've got in the house. How pretty is this pothos? Look at it. I'm trying to get it to grow up the wall, and I'm using a little bit of like, you know, the tack you put on with for pictures, framing pictures. I'm using a bit of that. It's got a bit on that leaf, but look at the leaves on that. This is called a satin pothos. I'm doing two things at once here. Satin pothos. Look at that. Look, it loves this spot. Very healthy there. And look, I'm just letting it grow up on a shelf on a white wall. And it's, look, such a decorative thing. Water it once a week. I really love that one. This one gets a little less light, as you can see, and it's around the corner on a windowsill, but they're all cuttings that are taking off, and I've just put quite a few in the pot, different cuttings there that I've put in water, got some shoots, and it's gonna go. This one's in the bathroom and it loves this by the window, and you see how variegated it is there. It's keeping the variegation because it's right next to a window, and I've got it on a plant stand there, and I bought that pole thing for it to grow up, because they will climb or they'll drop, whichever way you want to do it, but I'm making my one climb the pole, so you just keep attaching it. And next to it, there we are, got one growing in water. So there you are, you can just put them in water and you can see all the roots, and they'll just keep growing in there. I just keep it in there, and look how big the leaves are. They're really big. I've still got some variegation on the ones that get a bit more light. And just around here, I've got these little babies on the windowsill that I'm propagating. So you just put them in water, and oh, got to be careful. They'll start growing. Look, that's a root. It's growing out there, and it's, look, even growing a new leaf underwater. Alright then, they're that easy. You just put them in little bottles, just with water. Got some more there. They're doing a treat. Just where the nodules are, you will start getting roots. See that? You start getting roots coming off them. So there you'll go to pothos. There you go to good old Sansevieria, mother-in-law's tongue. These ones will actually grow in low light and really don't need that much care or that much water, but they give really nice air quality to your rooms. So it's good to have some in your bedrooms or in your rooms, because really do improve your air quality. Here's a really nice little ditty one on my desk. I really like it. It's called cylindrica, and it is so cute. It's growing little new babies. Can you see? And it's sort of like cylindrical. It's a bit different, but I really love them. The good old ZZ plant. I always think of ZZ Top when I say that, but look at this. It's just so lush and waxy, lovely waxy leaves, and I've got a bit of new growth on there. Look, there's coming up new growth. These plants are amazing. They can be kept in the darkest room. I've got it in a dark spot in my room, and you don't have to care much for them. They're really just a little bit of water every couple of weeks, you know, but they just look after themselves really. If you overwater them, you're going to kill them. So you've got to be just really, they're just the easiest thing ever. Okay, so there'll be another go-to.